Hello, everybody. My name is Tobisatsu, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we'll be going over the physical media that I got in December 2025 and January 2026. In advance, I apologize if you hear any creaking in the background. Due to the temperatures being in the negatives here in upstate New York, the heat is on and the pipes are creaking. Along with that, I've got a new lighting setup that I'm trying for this video, so please let me know if it looks better as we go through it. And with that out of the way, sit back, relax, and let's get to it. To start, as usual, let's go through the things I've shown on video, which I've done too, with those being Ultraman 4K Discovery, which I have done a review on if you want to check that out, as well as Raven Banner's release of Shin Ultraman, which again, I have done a review on and showcase that a bit more in that video. Everything else from here is new, I haven't shown, and come from various places. To start, I'll show off some titles that I've gotten from Amazon, starting with Blade Runner 2049. So I've never seen this film before, and I've been highly interested to check it out. Since I saw Tron Legacy back in September for the first time, I've really been on a cyberpunk high, quite frankly. And Blade Runner is something I've always wanted to watch. I got some clips recommended on YouTube, and the 4K is fairly inexpensive at $14. So I plan on watching this soon. If I watch this before I post this, I'll put a little blurb up saying if I liked it or not, but I'm excited to check this out. And along with that, I decided, hey, I got some Villeneuve, I might as well pick up Dune Part 1, as well as Dune Part 2. In all honesty, with these films, I'm actually not too massive on them. When I first saw the original Dune in theaters, I was huge on it. It was, quite frankly, one of my favorite sci-fi movies that I saw in a theater. But with each watch, I found myself slowly disliking it more and more, with my most recent watch kind of loathing it in some ways. The first half of the movie is fantastic, but that second half, especially as Paul and his mother get stuck in the desert, just doesn't do it for me. When it comes to Dune Part 2, I've actually only seen the film once, and I really enjoyed it in theaters. I wouldn't say I'm as high on it as so many people are, but I really do like what it does. I think it's a gorgeous film, and the action is much better than the first, same with the pacing. So I've been kind of curious to go back to this one especially, and with Dune Messiah coming out at the end of the year, this is the perfect time to get these films on 4K, which I think is going to benefit from HDR, 4K quality, and then of course, Dolby Atmos. So happy to get these in the collection. $14 each, so super cheap. So happy with those. Next up is a bit of an oddball film that I've had my eye on, with that being the film The Cat. Now this is a almost tokusatsu film about a I really don't know how best to describe it, quite frankly, but it has this black cat and the girl on the cover who are aliens. And there is this blob-like creature that's going around Earth, terrorizing people, killing people, and trying to grow its influence. Really weird movie, kind of toku, but not really. And I found it a lot of fun. If you've seen the Japanese film House, it's kind of similar in that vibe, where it's very, like, out there horror, and, for the most part, I really enjoyed it. The first half is slow, but when that second half kicks in and shit starts hitting the fan, it's a lot of fun. This isn't a cheap release. This was, I think, like $30, so it is a bit pricey. But I think the quality of the video and audio was good, and for just an overall film, I thought it was fun. I'd recommend this if you like weird shit. Maybe stream it first before buying it, but pretty cool film. That's The Cat. Next up, we have a set of films I have not watched in a long time, and kind of starts to feed into the Guillermo del Toro collection, starting with Wesley Snipes' Blade. Now, I haven't seen this film in a long time. My dad is a really big fan of this film and another series that I'm going to show in a little bit. In all honesty, I'm not super high on this film. I really liked the action. I found the soundtrack good, and Wesley Snipes, of course, is fantastic as Blade. But in all honesty, it didn't gel with me as much as I thought it would, just based on how people talk about it. It's a very apparently late 90s film, which I think you'll either love or you'll kind of just be not off put by it, but it just won't gel with you as much. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's kind of a film that has a almost corny feel that it embraces so much that it comes back to working. So, made for a really fun watch. But in all honesty, I found its sequel, Blade 2, much better. And then, of course, as I've bought this, they announced that the 4K is coming out this year, and I've been slowly waiting for it to come out, and it just hasn't come out when it gets announced, because of course it would. But I absolutely love Blade 2. This is part of the Del Toro collection. I'm going through his films and buying his filmography, but this is an absolutely fantastic time. I think it does what the first film did good and multiplies it. There's more action, the pacing's better, there's some good comedy. I love how it plays into the horror a bit more this time around, really like embracing it. And of course, Del Toro is the perfect man to get that to work. And I think it's just more visually pleasing. It's kind of like the yin to Blade's yang in the sense that, as I said, Blade feels like a very late 90s action film, where Blade 2 feels like a very early 2000s action horror film. And, even the vibe of the coolness kind of fits around that. Being a 2000s kid, of course, I think I gel more with Blade 2 in that aspect. But really, really fun film, and artistically really cool. I think it stands on its own, and obviously me loving Del Toro, I think it's just awesome. So happy to have this in the collection. I'll have to get the 4K down the road. But that is Blade 2. And from here, everything is Del Toro. So, again, I'm trying to get his filmography, and you'll see where I'm at the end of the video. So, pretty exciting. But a film that's taken forever, that was part of the Criterion sale that Amazon just never got to me, was The Devil's Backbone. I thought this was pretty good. I wouldn't say I thought this was like... The quality sticks out. It's a very quality movie. But in that way, I'm also just not as enamored by it. I'm not as enamored by it as some other people are. Definitely has its moments, and I think artistically, again, Del Toro knows how to make a movie look gorgeous. His ideas are fantastic. Like, I love that the child, the ghost here, as shown on the cover, has the blood coming out of its head. Or his head, geez. And he's constantly has it, like, flowing through him as the movie's going. Like, it just adds an interesting view of the ghost that is visually pleasing, but also kind of feeds into the darkness of the kid's death. Great atmosphere, great story, great villain. That's something Del Toro's always good at. And I found myself really enjoying this. It's been fun going and watching these, I don't want to say smaller budgeted Del Toro movies, but less known and talked about, and this was a really fun watch. I'd recommend it if you haven't seen it yet, especially if you like Del Toro's other films. So really cool. That's The Devil's Backbone. Next up here, we have Crimson Peak. This is a underrated film. I know that when this initially came out, it was screwed by the marketing, kind of selling it as a different film than it really was. But this was just such a fun watch. I was really happy with this. It's more of a gothic romance, so if you go into this, don't expect horror to really take the front. But when the ghosts and things are going on, quite honestly, it's fantastic. There's some really kind of gory and disturbing designs throughout, and it really feeds into the mystery of the film, especially as you learn more. Really, really solid performances. Tom Hiddleston, and then, who was it? Jessica Chastain. I probably butchered the last name, but the two of them, especially playing the siblings, absolutely fantastic. They're horrible people, and it works out fantastically. And that third act is just crazy. Video looks really good. Start of the film, not as impressive, but when you actually get to the mansion, it looks incredible. And this is a really just overall fun watch. I wouldn't say it's for everybody, but I found the romance effective. I love the writing and the characters and how the dynamics play out for such a small cast. Really, really fun watch. That's Crimson Peak. And the final two movies here, again, Del Toro, are two films that I've watched a little bit as a kid, but really have not come back to. With those being Hellboy and Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. So, my dad, similar to Blade, really likes these films, so it's kind of a cool overlap to see that my dad was also into Del Toro's filmography to some degree. And I'm a big fan of Ron Perlman. Obviously, he's been in so many of these Del Toro films, and I have a chunk of them to actually watch through or rewatch, and he's still in quite a bit of them. But I remember finding Hellboy to be fun when I was a kid. I'd catch like snippets of the second one, but the first one I'm pretty sure I watched it with my dad, and I liked what it was for what it was worth. Hellboy 2 I know is a little more action and comedy centric. My dad described it in a way where Hellboy is more emotional, where Hellboy 2 feels more like a blockbuster. So I'm curious to give these a watch. Again, I love Ron Perlman, and the creature effects and everything in these films, from the clips that I've watched, look incredible. So really, really interested to watch those. And with that, that's the end of the haul. But I have one more movie that I've got on pre-order for the Del Toro collection that'll come in next month. And once I get that in, I'll be done with the Del Toro filmography. So that added 5 different Del Toro films to the collection. Kind of crazy. And Mimic seems interesting enough. So once I get that in, I'll talk about that, obviously. And then I will have Frankenstein to get most likely at the end of the year. I would assume it's end of the year. Criterion's going to put that out, but excited to get that soon as well. I'm probably going to go for Hideaki Anno next, as well as the King Kong film series. So plenty more pickups to come for sure. And having now reached February, you do expect a full collection video at some point soon. I wanted to get this out of the way just so that I could have the most recent additions shown off. So I do apologize that it's taken so long to actually do that. But that's the end of the haul. We'll get these up on the shelf and, of course, end it from there. Thanks for making it to the end of the haul. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like. If you have any questions on the releases I showed, or want to share what you picked up the past 2 months, be sure to leave a comment. And if you really enjoyed, be sure to subscribe and click the bell to see more from me. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Tobisatsu, and I hope that you have a great day.